I will never forget my first day in San Francisco. The first Sunday in October, 1986, and there in the streets of Castro and Market was an incredible event, the Castro Street Fair. I thought the weather's always this beautiful, and gosh, the men are lovely to look at, and well, it was a day I'll never forget. Tonight's guest is the president of the board of that historic event, the Castro Street Fair. Meet Fred Lopez. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I mean, it was a memorable day for me. I just thought, wow, this is incredible, a city that can do this, because it seemed to me clearly a gay event, but there were non-gay people, and there were kids, and there were families, and it was a uniquely San Francisco thing.
Yeah.
What I didn't realize for years was that it was founded by Harvey Milk. Tell us about the history of it.
Yeah, Harvey Milk started the first Castro Street Fair in 1974, and just like then, it's still a really community-generated and community-oriented event. We actually raise money for beneficiary organizations, over 25 of them in San Francisco, and mainly we try to focus on organizations that are centered in or around or offer services in the Castro neighborhood. So really, it is about the neighborhood and making sure that we're all taking care of one another.
Well, and you know, I'll use this occasion to thank you, because a nonprofit that I helped found, the Rainbow Honor Walk, which is going to be the what I call the quote-unquote gay walk of fame on the streets of Castro, has been at the last two Castro Street Fairs and will be there again this year. So thank you for all of that.
Absolutely, it's very exciting.
How many people come every year?
Over 50,000 people come to the Castro Street Fair every year, and it's about 6 blocks of fun, vendors, entertainment. We have 3 stages. We have a dance area. We have a country western dance area as well. That's
you always have Patsy in the reclines, I know.
Correct. Yeah. But by Sundance Saloon, those guys put together the country western dance area, which is always very popular. And if you haven't been, you should definitely check it out. It's in the parking lot behind the Castro Theater. And also we have something called Barnaby's World of Wonderment, which is just a catch-all of crazy sort of circus-like entertainment, where there's performance artists and drag queens and human petting zoos and just fun, crazy stuff that you probably wouldn't see almost anywhere else.
Yeah, well, I mean, that pretty much describes Castro Street Fair, something you wouldn't see anywhere else, because, you know, San Francisco is known for having a lot of street fairs, and October is right in the middle of the street fair season. I mean, you've just had Folsom, you've had Door Alley, there's Union Street Fair. What makes Castro Street Fair unique?
Well, I think, as you said, it's definitely a community-oriented fair, and it's something that definitely we honor the fact that the Castro is historically and remains mostly a gay neighborhood. And so we definitely try to keep the entertainment in that vein, but also acknowledging that lots of people from all over San Francisco and, you know, around the Bay Area come to check out the Castro Street Fair. So we try to make it as interesting and as multifaceted as possible.
Right.
This year's theme is Castro Street Fair County Fair. So we're going to do some stuff that's a little more sort of hoedowny, with maybe some bales of hay,
apple bobbing contest,
cakewalks,
sure.
So we're still working on that. I'm headed off to our board meeting in a little while here, and we'll make some more plans on how to bring that theme to life. Yeah,
I think there's only 1 year in the 26 years that I have been here that I have not been at Castro Street Fair, because it certainly is a historic marker for me, but it also just, I don't know, it makes me feel good as a San Franciscan. And I noticed a few years ago, it seemed to be getting smaller and smaller. Has the economy impacted not only the size of the fair, but your ability to give back to the community?
A little bit here and there. I mean, I think with every street fair, and I've learned a lot being a part of the Castro Street Fair from other street fair organizers. I think there's always ebbs and flows, and I think definitely a couple years ago there was a little bit of a slump, and I think we're starting to see things come back for sure. I think the vendors, we have many vendors who come back on a regular basis. They make sure that they're at the Castro Street Fair every year, and particularly the food vendors, are, you know, people come to expect, you know, those certain hot dogs and that certain teriyaki and the chicken sticks and just the really good food that we have offered at Castro Street Fair.
Do you have some vendors that have been there for all, however many years it's been now? 30 some.
Great question. I hope so. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's a good possibility.
Now, over the last few years, Castro has sometimes become a victim of its own success. I mean, Halloween used to be a community event that was safe and wonderful, and it's certainly had its issues over the last few years. Pink Saturday. That doesn't seem to have happened to Castro Street Fair. There hasn't been this sense of, oh, it's gotten too drunken or too out of You know, why do you think that is?
Well, I think part of it is that we're a daytime event, and I also think, you know, we have paid really close attention to the safety of everybody who comes to the fair. For a long time, Officer Jane Warner was our chair of safety before she passed away.
Right.
And
so now she has actually a plaza named for her
the
at
Jane
Castro
Warner Plaza.
Market.
Correct, yeah. And so now Che Heron, who's our chair of safety, he works really hard not only with the local police department, but also with a team of dedicated volunteers to make sure that everybody's safe and that, you know, there are enough eyes in the crowd to make sure that if something seems like it's not right, then we'll actually address it right away.
Right.
And so I think that, and also, you know, we're a smaller footprint than a lot of other fairs. So I think there's a couple of reasons that we've been really lucky and really blessed with safe and fun events.
In our last few moments, tell me what, it's hard to pick favorites, but two of what you think are the most unique vendors or parts of the Castro Street Fair.
Well, you know, we raise over $80,000 per year for local organizations, so I think that's absolutely one of the best parts. And also, you know, check out the main stage at Castro Market, where you can see all kinds of fun bands and drag acts. So.
Right, and you say this year it's kind of a hoedown thing, so like an old Virginia boy like me, I'm going to feel
correct.
Right
Yeah,
home.
bring your boots.
Thank you. We've been speaking with Fred Lopez. We hope to see you at Castro Street Fair, and we hope to see you here next week on Comcast 104 for 10%. I'm David Perry. Good night.